I understand that you are nationally certified as an instructor. As a matter of fact, I know different ones have come to your class. I know you've had a doctor, you've had chiropractors, you've had physical therapists and other massage therapists, and even just lay people that have been able to take your class. How have they benefited from taking your class?
Well, this is a technique that I learned, and it's something that not a lot of people. It's not a technique that is widely distributed. There's just a handful of people that I know of that know how to do this technique from my teacher, and I haven't had anybody that's taken the class that's been disappointed in taking the class. Everybody that's taken the class, when I taught this class in Baltimore for some massage therapists, and they were very impressed and happy. The chiropractor, he changed his practice after that and incorporated this, changed his whole practice around to incorporate this technique. So this technique has really let people realize when I teach this technique, I really help people understand fulcrums and levers and how some muscles can be tight and some can be too loose, and how to really change that structure and get it all back into balance from the feet up to the head. And so everybody has walked away feeling just perfect. Oh, if a muscle's too tight, I don't want to, if a muscle's too loose, I don't want to loosen it. I didn't grasp that whole concept. And so when my teacher taught me, that was a big part of, you don't want to loosen a muscle that's already too loose because you'll create a worse issue. So that's addressed, and pretty much when anybody gets done with a beginner's class, they can go out and start helping people. They don't have to take the advanced class before they can start helping people, because they learn so much in that 2-day class. It's a 2-day full 16-hour class. They walk away having a new skill that they can start using.
And I know part of that class too is you start from the feet, you work all the way up to the head. You're basically working with about 186 different muscles. And in that process, the technique of doing the spindle cell, it releases the muscle, and the opposite of that spindle cell technique tightens muscles. So basically, you're just going ahead and balancing everything out, and at the same time, you're releasing the fascia. And why is that fascia being released? Why is that also beneficial?
Well, the fascia really wraps around and attaches to everything. So like if you took an orange, you have the orange of an orange, and you peel that orange and you left the white outer skin on, that's its fascia. But if you're peeling an orange and you stuck your thumb through it, all that juice just drips down your hand, and you know, it makes a mess. So that every animal, every person, everything has a protective sheath around it. And it doesn't break. It doesn't just say it's going to go to here and then it's going to go to there. It wraps itself around. So if a piece of fascia is tight on one side due to injury, like if you were in that car accident, it tightened up, it kind of tensed up, everything around it also is going to be pulled to that tighter side. So when we're doing this technique, we're learning, is it the muscle that's the issue? Is it the fascia that's the issue? Is it the ligament or the tendon that's the issue? But everything gets balanced through that isometric and that spindle cells or the Golgi tendons. And then when you work with that fascia, the very last step that we do in this class is we learn how to iron out that fascia. When that fascia gets tight, it feels like little crepe paper. It gets little bumps in it, and it can kind of go in different directions, and it's not supposed to go. And so you're kind of smoothing that out like you're taking an ironing pen to it. And it's very effective, especially with fibromyalgia people. It's very effective.
Well, and then you have an advanced class, and I know you do a lot of details with the advanced class, and you're just so intuitive of figuring out what the issues are and the problems are.
So I offered the beginner's class to really help people get an overview so they can start helping people, and the advanced class is really a fine-tune. And I worked on making the advanced class because I had more and more people come to me with just this really minute, small problems. And I had to figure out, well, how do I work with those? So the advanced class, you learn about hammer toes, bunions, high arches, curled toes, plantar fasciitis, tendonitis, carpal tunnel, rotator cuff injuries, frozen shoulder, frozen hip, Meniere's, ringing in the ears, TMJ, scoliosis. It goes through the whole gamut. So you kind of learn that in the first class, oh, I could take this to a different level, but I was a little slow. It took me a long time to kind of grasp this concept. And so once I grasped it and I started having people come in and really try to have to figure it out. So I took the guesswork out of it. So I'm teaching that second class, well, what do you do if this and this and this happens? And what do you do if your ears aren't level? How do you know which muscle it is to fix that? Or what if they start having vertigo and they've never had vertigo before? What muscles could be causing that? So I've taken that to that second step. It's a 3-day class. This last class I had, Ashley asked for it to be a 4th-day class. And so I'm also working on another class to teach certain isometrics to help for that homework that I give out to the clients so that I can teach that. So in the future I'll be offering that other class too.
So this is something that sounds really exciting for people to be able to take your class and how they can help others, as you have for over a decade now of helping different conditions. Jill, thank you so much for the interview. We certainly appreciate that information. And by all means, if anyone wants to look at the testimonies, whether that's for her class or testimonies of people who have written about her, by all means take a look at that and give us a call if you need some help.